Hello there, environmental science class. I have a little assignment for you guys today, but before I can give you the assignment, I'm going to give you a little background knowledge. So here we go. Now, last December in Paris, there were 196 parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, otherwise known as the UNFCCC. Now, they met and they agreed to balance the human-driven greenhouse gas budget between 2050 and 2100. Now, what this is it's a commitment intended to limit the increase of the global temperature of our planet above pre-industrial levels to well below either 2 degrees Celsius, and hopefully we can get down to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And what that means is before the pre-industrial revolution came about, we know the climate temperatures were, we want to keep it no greater than 2 degrees above that rate. So, what is a balanced greenhouse budget? So before you can answer my question, a balanced greenhouse budget, there's two things. One, it requires that industry and agriculture both produce a zero emissions. Or two, can we necessitate the active removal of greenhouse gases? In other words, can we come up with some new technologies that remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? And we're going to have to do one or the other. So, takes us to the next point. There are many CO2 removal techniques that have been brought to everybody's attention and thought about. Now, whether any of them could work or not on the scale that we need to have delivered to be able to reach this agreement, we'll have to wait and see. Because the Paris Agreement depends on three things. One is feasibility, two is cost, and three is acceptability. Now, one crucial component of all these approaches is the non-climatic impacts on a large-scale CO2 removal and how that would affect the ecosystems and our biodiversity. Now, until now, remember the UNFCCC, Scientific Advisory Board, and the IPCC, or another big term, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has paid relatively little attention to such impacts. We just haven't thought about it a whole lot. But it has fallen to other groups that review insights on gaps in our understanding on the influence of CO2 removal techniques. So, to make a broad assessment of climate engineering change and to carry out cooperative model studies. So here is your question. Do you think that it is time for the IPCC and the other governments and other research funding agencies to invest in a new international coordinated study to investigate the viability and relatively safety of a large-scale CO2 removal? Now I want to know, what do you think and why? And for today, you will be able to use your phones to do your research. And I have one other small question for you. Okay, we have 196 parties in the United Nations. We have 193 certified countries. So, what is the only country that is not a member of the Paris Agreement possibly in 2020? There's one country that said they are not going to be in the Paris Agreement anymore. Out of all the countries in the whole world, there's just one, and that's going to be your extra credit question. What is the one country that does not want to be part of the Paris Climate Agreement anymore? So, there's your question. Good luck, and write me a good little research paper.